Diogo Jota's Liverpool career has kicked off at a blistering pace, giving Jurgen Klopp plenty to think about as far as his attacking selections go. And so in this video, we're going to go way back to see the surroundings he grew up in, his youth career, and all the steps along the way that have made Diogo Jota the player that he is today. I'm Adrian, by the way, and if you're finding Rabona TV for the first time, then be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, amongst plenty of other bios, explainers, and more. And also, a big thank you to our friends at OneFootball for sponsoring this video. And if you want to stay up to date on every move that Diogo Jota makes, every goal he scores, and every FIFA tournament that he wins, then you can do so with OneFootball's free app. You can custom tailor your newsfeed and notifications to follow the players, clubs, and competitions that you care about to ensure you're up to date on everything with the fastest breaking news. You can also follow matches with their match tickers when you're on the go, watch videos and highlights, and so much more. Help yourself to a free download by using the link below and support the channel in the process. Thanks again, OneFootball, and now let's go back in time to Portugal in 1996. Diogo José Teixeira da Silva, we know him just as Diogo Jota, of course, was born in early December of 1996 in the district of Massarelos, Porto. His parents, Joaquim and Isabel, were factory workers. Diogo has one brother, 3 years his junior, named André Silva. No, not that André Silva who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, though Diogo's brother is also a footballer who is currently on the books of the Porto-based club Boa Vista. Something that is often noted today when speaking of his life off of the pitch is his humility and the absence of lavish, decadent purchases. His father, speaking in an interview with Mais Futebol, which I've linked below with my other sources, attributes this to the surroundings that Diogo grew up in. Quote, he observed the difficulties his parents had. We were factory workers, we didn't earn much above the minimum wage, and we never hit our limitations from our children. It was not easy to have 2 children in football and get paid what we did. Diogo never asked us for anything. He never asked us for or even said he wanted branded football boots. He knew it wasn't a possibility. Now, during the lockdown, you may remember that Jota was crowned the E-Premier League Invitational Champion after he slapped everyone on the way to a tightly contested final against future teammate Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, the prowess he exhibited in that tournament was years in the making, as his father said that all he was interested in as he grew up was playing football, often in his grandmother's tiny backyard, and playing FIFA on his PlayStation. Quote, he never went out at night, even as a teenager. It was never about dinner, going out at night, nothing. He was always at home. I even told him sometimes to go out. But for Diogo, if there was football in the afternoon and PlayStation at night, he was happy. We gave him, with great difficulties, his first PlayStation, even though he never asked us for one. He never asked us for anything. FIFA and football, the two loves of his life, but back to the latter. When he was just 7 years old, Jota began playing for his local club, Gondomar SC. As a right-footed player, his father says that he was forced to play on the left at a young age in order to improve his left foot, his two-footedness becoming a major asset to his future professional career. Another asset to his career has been his ability to play in multiple positions, on the left wing, on the right, at the top of a midfield 3, as a false 9, all over the place. And this too is thanks to the fact that he had been playing all of these positions throughout his youth development. While playing for Gondomar, his speed and talent on the pitch attracted the eye of the big clubs within Portugal, but none of them signed him given how small he was in comparison to his opponents. A common thread for many current professionals. For Gondomar, however, his talent continued to propel him through the ranks, often playing with boys 1 to 2 years his senior. In fact, during the 2012-13 season with Gondomar, in which Jota played for both the U17s and U19s, he scored 39 goals, most of which scored as an attacking midfielder. It was at this time that he hit a growth spurt, which added even more to his pace and acceleration on the pitch, and his former coach, José Carlos Magalhães, says, quote, we played 30 games and he scored against all 15 opponents. This is something extraordinary for a midfielder. Jota was one of the central midfielders playing as an 8 or a 10. Another coach, Ruben Carvalho, pointed out one weekend in particular to the Portuguese publication Sapo Desporto, in which Jota was representing the U17 side, and he says, quote, there was one weekend where we played Candal twice. On the Saturday, Diogo started the match and scored 3 goals for us. The next day, he came on as a second half substitute and scored another 2. In a little more than 100 minutes of action, he scored 5 goals against the same goalkeeper. On the Sunday, he played as a striker, but on Saturday, he had played as a midfielder and still scored 3 goals. Jota's reputation was building in the area, and at the age of 16, he moved 40 kilometers away from his parents to join Paços de Ferreira, the first step in becoming a professional. Signing for Paços de Ferreira in 2013, he made his professional debut for the club in October of 2014. Coming on as a substitute in a 4-0 win over Atlético SC Reguengos in the Portuguese Cup, Jota scored a goal and provided 1 assist. A few months later, in February of 2015, he made his Primeira Liga debut as he was subbed on against Vitória de Guimarães. His first goal in the Primeira Liga would come in May of 2015 versus Académica de Coimbra. In fact, he scored a brace in that match. He ended that 14-15 season with 4 goals and 4 assists from 12 appearances across all competitions. In the following season, the 2015-16 season, Jota continued to impress in Portugal, primarily operating as a left winger and being named the Young Player of the Season. This kind of form couldn't go unnoticed for long, especially when a super agent such as Jorge Mendes is on the prowl in Portugal, ready to snap up the next talent and shift them to a European elite. And Jota was no exception. Sort of. Mendes facilitated a move to Atletico Madrid, though he never made an appearance for the Madrid side. Not a single competitive appearance, as Atletico loaned Jota to FC Porto for the 2016-17 season, and the young attacker continued to shine under then Porto manager Nuno Espírito Santo. The coach, as you would have guessed, has played a massive role in Jota's career. Jota struck up a great partnership with André Silva. This time it is that Silva that you're thinking of, the man who caught the headlines for Porto, though some Porto fans will tell you that Jota was arguably Porto's most important attacker in that season. He played everywhere across the attack, though mostly as a second striker, and racked up valuable experience in the Champions League. Somewhat poetically, the last match that Jota played in Portugal was against Paços de Ferreira, in which he scored and assisted against his former club. All the while, he was representing Portugal at the youth levels and excelling. Porto held on to hope that they would be able to make his move permanent if Atletico lowered their price, given that Porto had some financial fair play restrictions to navigate, but Jorge Mendes had something else up his sleeve. With Nuno Espírito Santo moving to Wolves as part of the massive Portuguese project that was ongoing in 2017, Jota moved as well. Speaking about his move later, once Wolves were promoted to the Premier League, Jota said, quote, "In Portugal, many people didn't understand our move. Not just me, but Neves as well. But we are here now, and the people that said things now understand. Of course it was a risk because it wasn't a shortcut to reach the Premier League, but in the end, it was a good move. My family were always supporting me, and they understand my position. They were always supportive, and that is what I care about." Of course, it wasn't a foregone conclusion that this player with Champions League experience would smash it in the championship, given the challenges the league provides for smaller, more skillful players such as Jota coming up against these big physical players. But you couldn't call his first season in England anything other than a success, as Wolves finished first and gained promotion to the Premier League, with Jota contributing a career-high 18 goals and 6 assists across all competitions. Life in the Premier League was understandably far more difficult, and it took Jota some time to adapt, but the latter half of the 2018-19 season saw him contribute 9 goals in the last 20 matches of the season. His second season could be viewed as a dip when looking strictly at his Premier League numbers, as some Wolves supporters voiced their annoyance with what they perceived to be some major peaks and valleys in his form, but in the Europa League, he was one of the competition's top scorers. Just as it had been throughout his career, his talent has threatened to explode at any moment, just as it did as a youth player during that 2012-13 season, as noted earlier by his former coach. And with Liverpool looking to deepen their attack, he became an option, following their failure to prize Ismaila Sarr away from Watford. Many professionals have come to and failed in the Premier League, so given he's already adapted to England and has a proven track record at a young age, that's a massive plus for a club like Liverpool. He's not exactly an unknown commodity. It's not an unknown as to whether he'll adapt to England or not. So that question is out the window. He has exhibited all of the attributes to be an exciting attacker, an attacker with speed, skill on the ball, relentlessness in the press, just as strong with both feet and both sides of the pitch, and the predatory instincts that ensure he pops up in the dangerous areas of the pitch to try to finish off chances, something that the Liverpool coaching staff have noted he excels at. Pep Lijnders was a coach in the youth setup at FC Porto from 2006 to 2014, where he then moved to Liverpool as Brendan Rodgers' assistant, and subsequently Jurgen Klopp's assistant, and first team development coach, with a little break to take on NEC Breda in between. And so with Jota making a surprise move from Wolves to Liverpool for somewhere in the region of 40 to 45 million euros on September 19th, 2020, Lijnders had this to say of the Portuguese attacker. Quote, "Diogo is on a similar level technically as our front three. He has so much future in his feet, and we want to give him the inside pathway here to make the next steps as well. A brilliant signing, we wanted him desperately, and we got him." And later noted by Jurgen Klopp himself, the fact that Wolves play with such intensity meant that Jota wouldn't have any problems adjusting physically to how Liverpool plays. The Liverpool boss later hailed the signing of the Portuguese attacker further following a string of strong performances for the Reds. Quote, "We knew he was an exceptional talent. He has everything I love about a football player. Speed, physicality, technique. He is two-footed, clear-minded, and very football smart. We love that." And by all accounts, he's been an instant hit, with his goal instinct really coming to the fore of late. Of course, it's still early doors as far as Jota's Liverpool career goes, but a Champions League hat-trick and numerous Premier League goals later, and Jota has already scored 7 in 11 appearances, half of which have been starts. Hopes are high for Jota at Liverpool, who recently has excelled for Portugal as well, where he has become a prominent member of the national team, scoring 3 goals in 2 appearances in September and October of 2020. So there's a feeling like Klopp is the one who can unlock that world-class player within Jota, just as he did with Mo Salah upon signing him from AS Roma. But let's just let things run their course. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then please drop a like, as that makes the YouTube algorithm happy and helps recommend this video to other football fans such as yourself. Other than that, I'm Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and we hope to see you around more often. Later.